Hello, thanks for watching. My name is Shaggy, the opinionated hippie. I originally started this channel to only do Zappa stuff, but then have made exceptions with music that is connected to Zappa. And since Zappa references the Dead twice in Teenage Wind on You Are What You Is, because I talk about the Dead a lot, having seen them a lot, I'm doing the Dead albums, ranking them, the 22 released from Without a Net forward. And we are on, this video will have 7, 6, and 5, and then I will do one more for the top 4. These 3 albums have kind of moved around a lot. I would say number 7, the one that's coming first, used to be much closer to number 1. I'll explain why it's dropped. Number 6 just keeps moving up and might even, if I were to do this list again in a year or two, number 6 might even be closer to number 1. And then same with number 5. That's another one that just, like, the top 6 are really just becoming like so close. They're all great, and on any given day, I could probably prefer one over the other. But yeah, so that's it. And also, if you enjoy what I say about these albums and you think it's in any way interesting, please read the comments for almost all of these Dead videos. There are several people, Mr. Cohen, Mr. Urso, among others, who have been watching the channel, and they make excellent comments, excellent insights. Their experiences with the Dead and even with Zappa are amazing, along with other people. But please, like, check out the comments if you want more just really interesting thoughts about the Grateful Dead, and completely diverse opinions about how to rank these albums, as they don't agree with much of what I have to say, except for Shakedown Street. We all agree that Shakedown Street kind of sucked. So anyways, that's it. On to the reviews. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. Number 7, Europe 72. This came out, I think, in 72, probably early 73. No, it actually came out in 72. Turnaround on albums back then just seemed crazy. And it is a compilation of material, tracks from their Europe 72 tour, hence the title. And it used to be closer to number 1. It is a fantastic album. It being number 7 has less to do with the quality of the album and more with the fact that, for me, about, 10 years ago or so, the Dead released all 22 Europe 72 shows in their entirety. And they also released sort of a Europe 72 Part 2, which was kind of the same format as this, just a bunch of random tracks expanded upon this. And it is a great, great album. It is a 3 LP album, 2 discs, and it's a bunch of new tracks that had not been released before, a bunch of stuff from previous albums, a bunch of covers. The quality is good. The songs are great. Many of these songs would go on to just become live staples for the Dead. The sound quality is good. Everybody gets a chance to shine. There's a jam. There's like a space element. It's just, there's nothing wrong with this album. It's just, for me, if I'm going to listen to something from Europe 72 at this point, I'm going to revisit one of those 22 shows just because there's 22 of them. But I recommend this album highly for anybody who is looking to get into the Dead. I think this is a great entry point. It's a great revisiting point. It really is a solid album. 3 sides. First side, you get Cumberland Blues, He's Gone, One More Saturday Night. You get a really good, Cumberland Blues is one of those really good Americana working man type, that world that the Dead create, that Robert Hunter has created in his lyrics. This is, I think, one of the best examples of that. He's Gone, a nice, good, slow, kind of Jerry-ish ballad. Apparently, if I'm not mistaken, about Mickey Hart's stepfather, right, or father-in-law, who was running their business, who stole a bunch of money. I think a lot of the lines in there are directed towards him, hence why Mickey Hart's not in the band at this point. Yeah. And then One More Saturday Night, which was from Bob's solo album, so then they played that. Then side 2, you get Jack Straw, just a flat-out classic. You Win Again, which wouldn't stick around in their set list, and a China Rider. Again, another song that they took China from their debut album. Their debut album, right? No, from Oxomoxoa. They kind of, it's a little beefier now, and just they have found how to work this song. And then Rider, which would forever be attached to it, is here. And then I think that's side. I'm trying to figure out where side three ends. Oh yeah, and then that's the end of side two. Side three starts Brown Eyed Women, Hurts Me Too, Ramble on Rose. Brown Eyed Women and Ramble on Rose being two just incredible Jerry songs that would kind of be first set staples. You usually only got a Brown Eyed Woman, a Ramble on Rose, or a Tennessee Jet at every show. You got one of those three songs, all of which debut on here. But just incredible songs. Brown Eyed Women, I think, is one of my all-time favorite Jerry songs. And then side four, you get Sugar Magnolia and the live, more expanded version with the Sunshine Daydream sort of coda epilogue at the end. Mr. Charlie, and then the Tennessee Jet, which is one of Jerry's great, just like that Jerry funk, whatever that, boom, 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 I mean, just whatever that is. It's a song that I always have kids that come to my class whose parents are deadheads. You know, I usually have one a year. And Tennessee Jet is the song they always like. Kids, 5 and 6 year olds love Tennessee Jet for some reason. And then side 5 and 6 is when the band starts to stretch out. You get a truckin' into epilogue, which is like a truckin' with just like a nice long jam at the end. And then you get a prelude, which is kind of space-ish, into Morning Dew. A really good Morning Dew. Kind of has taken their awesome debut album version and just made it into this live beast. But anyway, it's just a really solid album. I highly recommend. Number 7, Europe 72. Number 6, Grateful Dead. Grateful Dead, their debut album from what, 1967, right? 1967. And I don't like this album or love this album as much as I do because it's a Grateful Dead album, though it is. And I think it is a defining Grateful Dead album, but I also think it's a great psych album, a psych pop album. Sounds very much like a late 60s album. It sounds like psych pop from that era, but that is absolutely why I love it. I think one of the defining albums I ever bought in my life was the original Nuggets. Psychedelic artifacts from the first wave of psych music or whatever it was, 1965 to 1968. I think like shaped the way what I love about music. And this to me is like almost every track on here could have been on Nuggets. They're just really good psych gems that touch on kind of all the bases of early pop psych music. Plus, I also think there's a very defining Dead statement. So it's 9 songs. Side A is mostly shorter pop songs. And then side B is epic, just epic. But it opens up with the Golden Road to Unlimited Devotion, a very hippie, trippy, see that barefoot girl, some barefooted girls dancing along. She's a laughing and singing. It's a very like Haight-Ashbury, barefoot, twirling, dances, tripping in the sunlight, all that kind of song. And then the next song is Beat It On Down the Line, a cover song of like a struggling working man's, this job I got, it's not a good job, I got to beat it on down the line, like a struggle song. And I think those are the first 2 songs the Dead put into the world, and I really think that defined their entire ethos, which is why they like appealed to such a wide range of people, is because they were like, hey, let's indulge and have a good, responsible, fun time because that's what life is about. But like, we also recognize that life is really hard and it sucks and maybe you're struggling, but you have to make time for both. Because if you can do this, this is going to be easier. And they don't ever explicitly say that, but I think they have a really healthy balance in their shows of like Americana, working man's Dead. Like that is truly who they're representing with, hey, let's, tune in, turn on, turn, whatever. Let's do the Leary thing, So those 2 songs are the first 2 songs, and I think that's very much a statement right there on their first one. And then the third song kind of almost like complements that. It's Good Morning Little Schoolgirl, the cover, just like a blues workout. And they're also like, hey, we're going to get down and dirty and play some good music. So Good Morning Little Schoolgirl is the only song I kind of have a problem with on this album. Call me whatever you want, but sexualizing schoolgirls is something I've never been comfortable with, that rock and roll has a big problem with. But anyways, yeah, I understand. I get it. And it's different than something like, say, Mexicali Blues, which it's a girl that's just 14, which is very much a character that is down and out, and you're not maybe supposed to be too sympathetic to. You're just like, this makes for an interesting song. But this is not a character. This is like first person bravado, you know? So yeah, not cool. But anyways, a good little jam. And then Cold Rain and Snow, excellent song. Sitting on Top of the World, and Cream Puff War, two little kind of psych pop numbers that kind of never stuck around but are fun songs to hear. And then the second side opens up with Morning Dew, an amazing song, sort of a warning about nuclear war type song, a post-apocalyptic, you know, I thought I heard a baby crying today. No, you didn't hear a baby crying today. Don't worry about those people, you know, because they're all gone and dead. It's a really powerful song. This version is pretty much the template that the Dead would use in their live versions. Obviously, it's not the epic solo at the end, but it is such an amazing song and such an amazing performance. And this recording is great. And if you like this song and haven't heard the original, seek out the original. It's also very haunting. And then the Allman Brothers, before they became the Allman Brothers, covered this. And I'm not expert on the Allman Brothers, but I know it's on their box set Dreams. I think the Almond Joys might have been the name of the band at the time. But to hear Greg Allman sing the song, and then they also throw this neat little guitar lick in there that kind of repeats itself. But yeah, amazing song, and I think the Dead's version, of course, is my favorite. But then you get a new Minglewood Blues, which works on this album. Never needed to be released again, other than in like complete live shows, because you get Morning Dew, a nice, good Minglewood Blues Bob workout into Viola Lee Blues, a cover, an epic jam, probably one of the best things the Dead have ever released in their official vinyl studio catalog. You know, that run, even with their live stuff, this is an epic jam. And that is why, like, even if the Dead had never put out another album, or even if all the other Dead albums just kind of sucked, or not even sucked, but were just average, this album, and especially Viola Lee Blues, would be something that I think everybody would agree was great. Kind of like Spirits, the 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. They did other good stuff, right? But that one, everybody's like, oh no, that's the one. That would be this for me if the Dead did nothing else. This is just an incredible psych pop album. And the Viola Lee Blues Jam, 10 minutes of just some of the best ensemble jamming, taking music to the absolute break and then bringing it right back in. Just phenomenal. But yeah, number 6, the Grateful Dead's debut album. Number 5, Blues for Allah. This is just a phenomenal studio album by any stretch of the imagination. Just a great track listing of songs that would kind of stick around in the Dead catalog, but never become like, I guess, never became overplayed, or were always moments you're like, oh yes, this is a good choice. Like, I mean, just really strong track listing, a bunch of songs or 3 songs that kind of never appear, you know, were never played live, but are still really good studio tracks. It's just a nice balance of everything. The jams that are in here, or there's a couple pretty epic jams. The sound quality is phenomenal. Like, this is just a win. My only complaint is they throw some saxophone in on a certain song that I don't appreciate. You don't ever need to supplement your band, guys. But other than that, excellent album. Opens up with Help on the Way, Slipknot, Franklin's Tower, I Help Slip Franklin. Right, that's where this came from. The Help is solid. The Slipknot is a legitimate, nice jam in there. And then the Franklin's Tower is not your epic Franklin's Tower. Jerry isn't soloing at length, but it's a fun song and like sequenced after Help Slip. I mean, it just sounds perfect. And then you get this instrumental, King Solomon's Marbles into Stronger Than Dirt or Milk and the Turkey, which is this like straight instrumental jam, which sounds kind of like sort of that instrumental sort of piece of music that the Dead threw in at the end of the 73, 74 Eyes of the World. Has those just kind of weird changes, kind of those shifting in grooves. Just a really good solid instrumental. And then it closes with The Music Never Stopped, which is just such a great Bob song. Again, there's not an epic jam at the end of this, but the song itself is so strong and so fun and kind of funky. I mean, just an incredible side of music. Side 2 opens up with Crazy Fingers, which I think is one of the most sort of mysterious songs the Dead have ever written. I mean, I think anytime this pops up live, it usually would come out of like maybe a playing in the band or, usually in the playing Uncle John's Terrapin realm, it kind of fell in. But the way it would usually just emerge out of those songs, and Jerry would start playing that open sort of arpeggiated intro, and then all of a sudden just go that dun 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 dun. I mean, it's just that song. It just has such sort of a nebulous quality about it. It's like eerie and magical and beautiful, and this version is like worthy of almost every live version. You get an acoustic little number, Sage and Spirit, which is pretty pretty neat, something the Dead didn't do all that often. And then a song which I did not like for years but have come around to in a big way, Blues for Allah, which is 3 parts. Blues for Allah, Sandcastles and Glass Camels, which is a ridiculous jam that just elevates this entire album to just another level. And then Unusual Occurrences in the Desert. The song itself has like a very, it's supposed to evoke almost like a very Middle Eastern chant type. You definitely get images of like something Disney would use in like a soundtrack for Aladdin. You can see like the playing the pyramids later on. It almost seems like this was like they knew they were going to eventually play the pyramids, or this was the reason why they played the pyramids, but it evokes that kind of thing. I thought it was just kind of a failed attempt for many years, but I've come around to it, and I actually think it's pretty neat, especially considering that jam that is in the middle that is just like one of the most like proggy, wicked things the Dead have ever done. Not proggy in a highly complex, lots of shifting sort of, tempos, but just proggy in the way they like achieve this other world spacey. Oh, it's just amazing. And then it closes out with this other weird little melodic section, and then you go back to the vocals. But just a great way, a great album. Highly, highly recommended for anybody who just likes good music. Plus, it's a really good Dead album. Blues for Allah is number 5. That's it for now. I'm gonna wrap up this video, and then we will do the final 4 next time and finish out this list. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the comments. I'd like to know your thoughts on these albums. As always, I appreciate them. They're incredibly interesting. But yeah, man, have a good day. Talk to you later. Subscribe, all that stuff. Bye.